Welcome to Life Remodeled, brought to you by Marvin Windows and Doors. Today, we meet with homeowners George and Ann in the process of trading in city life for spacious lakeside living in their new home in North Carolina.
When we were looking for a lot to buy, we thought very carefully about our objectives and what it was we wanted to do and where we wanted to live and what we might change about our current lifestyle. And in talking about that, decided we needed water. Loved the calmness of being on water. Loved being near mountains because of their power and beauty. We found that here and with this house.
It's such a beautiful site that the house really needs to do it justice.
To help bring their vision to life, George and Ann sought the advice of architect and author Sarah Susanka.
They have obviously an incredible lot that deserves a spectacular house. George and Ann had looked through all of my books and had actually loved them. So I got an email from George and Ann saying, "We know that you don't normally take private clients, but would you possibly consider our house?"
Sarah Susanka is really inspirational to us, and the beautiful interior detail that she has in her home. So the basic idea being, instead of building what she calls a starter castle, to cut down the size of the home by about 1/3 and put that budget into interior detail that makes the house a home.
Along with Sarah, they met with architect Tina Govan to begin planning their dream home.
They really fell in love with this piece of land, and that's what brought Sarah and I to it as well.
Tina's approach to growing a house from the land up and Sarah's approach to conceiving a house from the roof down really melded together with the topography of the land itself. So this house was designed, I think, for every square foot of the lot.
Often when people ask me about not so big, they say, well, how big is not so big? And I try to point out that it's not really about the scale itself, the square footage. It's about a sensibility. A not so big house is one in which you're using every square foot every day.
For George and Ann, making the best use of space in their home meant enjoying the beautiful views from every possible opportunity. This meant considering windows and doors very carefully.
Well, clearly the windows are a key feature of the house. We wanted to have views from every room at every possible angle that we could to appreciate the beauty of the land.
I had done a house in Vermont a number of years ago, and they loved that house. One of the things that they really enjoyed about that house was the fact that it had corner windows. When you include corner windows, you're looking out through the edge of the house, essentially, so that the perception of space is that it extends to as far as you can see, rather than just the edge of the house.
The role of the windows and doors in this home really was an important aspect, because the whole aesthetic of the house is built around their views of this lake, and we needed a quality window and door to make sure that they were able to take advantage of all those areas.
It quickly became clear to everyone on the team that Marvin Windows and Doors was the right fit.
One of the things that I look for when I'm selecting the window and door company is to just see what are the possibilities for customization. A lot of my decision making has to do with the quality of and integrity of the window and of the doors, making sure that they match so that we've got the same kinds of cladding and so forth. So those were big players. And that's one of the features of Marvin Windows and Doors that I really appreciate.
Got some round windows, some trapezoid windows, some windows that we actually had to build the frames for and send dimensions to Marvin for them to custom make. So to be able to work with somebody like that was able to do that instead of just something, right off the shelf was a great process, and worked out well.
One of the great things about using the Marvin windows was that they were able to accommodate whatever we asked for. At no point did they ever come back to us and say, you're going to have to modify your design because we can't do that, because they had some limitation.
Along with enjoying the views from inside the home, George and Ann wanted convenient ways to get a real sense of their surrounding outdoor environment.
I think one of the most unique ways we use the Marvin windows is at the folding doors, where we really make the walls disappear. So when those folding doors open, there's going to be this flow, and what was before an inside space will become outside, so it's almost like two separate buildings. So that flexibility that comes from those folding Marvin doors is really key to the design.
Having a quality window and door like Marvin that takes advantage of lots of glass, but also not just aesthetically pleasing, but also the performance of the door, because we are open to a lot of elements. We're right here on the lake. We get wind-driven rain, things like that need to be taken into consideration.
With their new home well on its way to completion, George and Ann are looking forward to the days they'll spend in their everyday retreat by the lake.